I want to continue with our program and give you some further information about Fraunhofer and also the place where we are today. And I hope you all enjoy already yourself and have first rotation, enjoying maybe networking or already seen some labs. So my name is Roman. I'm one of the professors and also one of the directors of the Fraunhofer IEM. So I just warm welcome. Really surprised that so many students came today. I mean, it's evening. You could also go to a bar, but we're still in Paderborn. It's a problem for hanging out at that time. Bar. So you're welcome here. We also have some drinks. We also have something to eat. And I know that one group was not able to eat something, but don't panic. You will be able to eat in a few minutes. So it's up to me to hurry now. So I also see Lakshay. So welcome. I thought you were working on your thesis. Yes. Should be on the thesis, not drinking my beer here. So no, you're all welcome. So I see no familiar faces also from the lecture. So you're all welcome, but also some new faces. So that's why I'm also very, very happy to see you, because it's kind of that we conduct an interview from us at you, because we need you for our future. But what is our presence and what we're doing right now is something that I want to share with you. And I know also from my lectures, when I'm always introducing, I'm a dual professor, I'm working for the university, but also most of my time for Fraunhofer, everybody says, yeah, it's the same. But it's not the same. So Fraunhofer is not part of any university. We collaborate with universities. That's very important to understand. There's a difference. And my benefit out of it, you can say, I don't think it's such a big benefit, but it's a dream of every professor. I don't have to do so much lectures. I have to do more research work, which is also a good thing, but I think I enjoy both. Where are we today? So we are today in our IoT Experience Center here at the Zukunftsmeile 2, which is a rather new building, as you see. So we just open it together with the most important partners, the Paderborn University, and the company next to us is Weidmüller, but I don't want to talk too much about them. My marketing said I have to make more advertisement about us. So I stay with Fraunhofer, and I stay also with Heinz Nixdorf, because as I said, I'm also having two jobs, not only for the Fraunhofer Institute, which actually the headquarters is the building next. I'm also working at the Heinz Nixdorf Institute, which is on the other end of the Zukunftsmeile. In between, we have in this location also, that's true, the world's largest computer museum. And there's a reason for all this. And the reason for this is this guy. And he died way before you got born. I was born already. And I'm already old. So Heinz Nixdorf is the reason for this. Heinz Nixdorf in the 80s, Paderborn, in this location right now where we're staying, was the largest computer manufacturing location in Europe. The largest computer manufacturing location in Europe. So thousands of people worked for Heinz Nixdorf Computer Systems and was big in business. He did not study computer science, he studied physics. Actually, he did not finish his studies. It's not in this way, you should not think about him as as a role model. But he started a big business. He has a vision, an idea, and he brought together computer science, physics back then. You know, computers were very point of, before he started with electronics, physical, optical components especially. And he was really a visionary, because he always said we have to bring together engineers and computer scientists and also other disciplines to develop successful products to the markets. The only thing that this company is not existing anymore is I would say one development he was not seeing, because he already died very young, 59 years old. He looks always older. When I look at him, I think, oh man, he was over 70s, but he was just 59 years old when he died. And after he died, the company had a lot of revenue still, and 5 years later they got struggled because of one reason. They stayed to their current business, and their current business was B2B, so business to business. They developed dedicated computer systems for companies, for professional applications. And what they did not see was the personal computer, the PC. The PC was so successful that every company say, oh, I buy a PC for my tax and for my administration, and I don't need this dedicated, more expensive system from Paderborn. So it's a true story. So, but still, a lot of what he invented, what was the idea, is also the basic why we have the Heinz Nixdorf Institute in Paderborn as part of the University of Paderborn, and also the reason why, and I hope, and I think I see a lot of computer science guys here, computer science in Paderborn is strong because of him. So this is, I think, always an important part, that we hear kind of an important location, and there's always a reason why there's a building and there's an institute. And the reason why we are Fraunhofer here is a little bit different. It's not only Heinz Nixdorf. Actually, the guys from Heinz Nixdorf Institute back then, I did my PhD there, but then I started Fraunhofer. They say, we are not sure if we need 2 institutes. If the Zukunftsmile is big enough for 2 institutes, was a big question. Today I would say we're not competitors, we should collaborate. It's more important than ever. And Paderborn is big enough for a lot of institutes, I would say. So we could have even 3 or more institutes. But what is Fraunhofer, as I introduced? So Fraunhofer is not part of the university. Fraunhofer is what we call, or what it is, when you look at just at the straight numbers, it's the European biggest association for applied science. It's more than 70 institutes, we're just one of them, more than 30,000 people working for Fraunhofer, and more than 3, I think already 4 billion euros per year research volume is carried out by this association. It's really huge. I don't know all of the 30,000 guys. I don't know the name of all 70 institutes, and I doubt that the president knows. I'm really sure nobody knows. Just Wikipedia maybe. So a huge organization. And that's important to know, because Fraunhofer is named according to Joseph Fraunhofer. And Joseph Fraunhofer is also, I would say, a role model for what we're doing, because he lived more than 200 years ago, and probably some of you know him because he was also a physics guy, and he was into optics, and he's known for the Fraunhofer line, so the spectrum of the light, the different colors that light will have. This is one of the things that he observed, and he developed a lot of inventions out of it, and that's why he's also famous, and this association was named after Joseph Fraunhofer. But I feel more connected to Heinz Nixdorf. So 200 years ago, I'm not a physician, but I'm more a computer guy, so that's also important. And this is the story every Fraunhofer Institute maybe has. So location, regional story, but also the basic story according to Fraunhofer as a general organization, and a huge organization. But what means applied research, applied science? And this is, I think, important also for students to understand that one thing is not applied science. Working by yourself, I mean, this guy's a little bit old, so I'm near to him already, or I'm fear at getting every year near to him. But it's more important how he's working, not the newest technology, not the leading edge technology. This guy's working alone. This is not applied science. Why? Because applied science means everything that we're doing is always on top of the state of the art, leading edge technologies, and we have to do it to bring it to companies not in 10 years, maybe not in 5 years, but in 1 or 2. And most of our customers, I lost my microphone. Most of our customers, they want to have it already implemented yesterday. That's the truth. Arthur knows the problem. It's always the same, that every customer wants to have it as soon as possible. So I want to apply it. Oh, it's rocket science, but I need it now. That's applied science in many cases. And what's also applied research is that we work not by our own. We work in strong cooperation with our customers, with our partners, but also as an institute, with our students. That's also a very important part. We cannot carry out applications and implementations of carry out someone by himself. I'm not Elon Musk, and I think not even him could do. He also needs people, and that's how we work. We work very closely, and that's so important, why we need a culture, where we need always young people, new ideas, new impulses for what we're doing. This is very, very important, because I don't want to end up like Heinz Nixdorf or Nixdorf Computer and miss the personal computer because I think my technology I developed over the last 20 years is so fancy, I don't want to see something new. So that's very important. So you're always the future for a company, and also for us, maybe more important for such a research institute as we are. Maybe some facts about us. I don't want to go into details, because during networking in the labs you see a lot of things what we are doing, and you see also some of our colleagues. But we are divided very simply. Our organization is very simple. We have just 3 departments. Those 3 departments are headed by 3 professors who are all also professors at Heinz Nixdorf Computer, and we have a very short history, because we are the newest Fraunhofer Institute in North Rhine-Westphalia. I think the next youngest institute was founded more than 30 years ago, and we started 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, we had the idea to build a Fraunhofer Institute. And when I say we had the idea, it was not the research, it was not the academic world, it was the industry. Companies like Miele or even Weidmüller, so companies that we need a Fraunhofer Institute in Paderborn or in this region, Ostwestfalen-Lippe, Sounds so short and so easy to say. So Ostwestfalen-Lippe region where we need a Fraunhofer Institute for Mechatronic Systems Design because we need help and support and we need young guys like you, hopefully will be, to develop and implement new ideas that we need for our products and for our systems. I mean, it's a word. Miele is a huge company. They should maybe do it by themselves, and a lot of things they do by themselves, or Klaas, or many of our partners, as we will see. But it's something else to get an impulse from someone else, or having an institute who's focusing, doing a little bit more than you have to do on a daily basis. And that's really important, because companies, they don't do inventions, and some of you know, because some of you already in my lecture, they heading to have innovations, so inventions that are successful in the market. So maybe we are looking from research more in inventions, but I think applied research is also about having an idea if this invention will someone needs, or you can use it in a good way, or it will be by someone is willing to pay for it. This is innovation. And applied research is way more innovation than invention, than maybe fundamental research. And I'm not saying fundamental research is not necessary, but it's not what we are doing as Fraunhofer. It's not our mission. Our mission is always to work very closely together with companies. Maybe one fact. Maybe you know Max Planck Institute, also famous research association from Germany, but it's fundamental research oriented. They are funded 100% by the government. We are just funded I think like 27%. It's a curious number to know how it is, but let's say 25% we are funded. The rest of our research volume, we have to work together with companies, they have to pay for it. So we have to do something that someone is willing to pay for. That Miele says, okay, we not only want a research institute, we also pay them. We pay you, we pay the persons, we pay for working together in this infrastructure, for example, and to develop a new kind of business model or system, whatever. So it has to be more applicable, more related to the current problems of the state of the art. So, and as I already said, we have three different departments with, I would say, also different research areas, because mechatronic systems design is a wide field, we can say that. We have more Ansgar Trechtler, those guys are coming more from the control engineering field. Eric, he was more coming from, some of you will know, from the IT security software engineering. And me, you know, I started mechatronics, then did my PhD in mechanical engineering, and now I'm professor in computer science, so I'm kind of, I love all disciplines. I have to work with them. And this is my discipline, to bring all the disciplines together and to do systems engineering. It's my field, developing complex systems, because in reality, if you want to develop a complex system, even a washing machine, as you know, is a complex system where you need a lot of disciplines today. Not only mechanical engineering or production technology, also a lot of software engineering. This is my field, and together we also have 3 chairs at the Heinz-Sixdorf Institute, and I think we do a pretty good job, because a lot of our projects we are doing together. So a lot of my project I do with Ansgar or with Eric, and the colleagues work together and they feel like one institute. And this is important because also our research is very interdisciplinary. But of course we work also with other famous scientists, so I don't want to say that we are famous, but the other guys are always famous from other locations. So you always get also in touch with Technical University of Munich, DTU, Technical University of Denmark, for example. So many universities we work together, or not only companies, of course. So maybe that's the short view or brief view into our institute, and I don't want to go into details. Maybe we have a look at what's in for you. I mean, could be interesting topics, but how's the way that you could develop yourself? Because you always have to, in your mind, not only your technical aspects and your science aspect, you also have to have in mind your own career, of course. You develop always your own career. And it's important to develop also and have a view on your own career, because you want to have a job that makes you happy. That's the main reason. Maybe also to earn some money, of course, but it's part of being happy. Not the only part, but one part. So I give you maybe the ideal way to work with us from a student perspective, and maybe end up as being a professor. Could be one way. Was my way, but I don't want to say it's the best way. So actually you could start with us working with a math thesis, with a bachelor thesis. So You know, bachelor thesis, when I talk to our research associates, they always say, bachelor thesis, the students, they're just crawling, they have to learn everything, and it's just the beginning. But I think it's an important step already to start to work together, and we're also into working also with bachelor students. It's very important for us. So it's never too early to start to cooperate, and we start already to go to schools. We discussed it already, so it's important for us. Of course, you could be here also not only working, writing your thesis, you can also work here as a student. Many people are working as a student for us already, and I think it's always a good thing because you get more insights into research work, you have something, a work that is related to your job maybe one day, or at least you can learn something also for your study courses and maybe also for some exams and get some network also with other students in the same interest. And of course, we also have other possibilities. We have some possibilities also that you could work also abroad, to partner institutes, to partner universities. We have some students like Arthur, I mentioned him already there. He was at Malaysia when he was a student, came back and then started working for us as a research associate. So it's also a possibility that that also such a kind of a research institute gives you. And then comes the huge topic of master thesis. I know I get like 5 proposals each week for writing master thesis. I don't know, I cannot supervise so many. There are also other professors, but I'm glad about everyone that I could supervise and that we could supervise, and please still try to get us to supervise your master thesis. I'm really honest, but it's sometimes we fail in capacity, it's of course. But master thesis is a very interesting topic because master thesis is the first thesis I think that students really start also doing research. Because very often you have a supervisor like Arthur or someone else from our research. He has to be the guy today, Arthur. Because he also is interested in some certain aspects, maybe is interested for his PhD. So you kind of developing input for his PhD, but developing also for yourself and maybe writing a publication with him at the end. And you feel like a scientist. And actually you are already a scientist. It's not very often with bachelor thesis, but with master thesis happen very often. Not always. Also, there are also bad master theses, but it's another topic. We don't want to talk about them today. They are already gone. Not here. No, I'm honest. So this is an important part, of course. But we are here today not only to maybe give you an idea what it's about to be a student worker or to write your thesis at our institute, but also get a feeling maybe even the industry is paying awful money from my point of view to you right now. So a bunch of money right now I feel, because they need also people. Maybe I want to be doing more research. And that's what I guarantee you cannot do at most of the companies. Especially if you're coming from university, going to research departments, it's very tough. There are not so many jobs. R&D maybe development or something, but research is something else. Because companies, they don't, as I said, they want innovation, not invention, so they pay you not for thinking what is able, they want to work on something that they can sell tomorrow. So it's a little bit different. So this is something that we can offer. And some other things, as I will mention. So if you want to be a research associate, then you still have many perspectives. Still have. A lot of people, they stay in science, but most of the guys who start as a research associate, they go to industry. A lot of guys, they maybe work for 2 years here, 4 years here, 5 years here, and companies are really interested in those guys. I guarantee you that. No problem. I never had one employee who did this way and did not find a job. Guarantee you that. And there are many reasons for that. One reason is you work already with them. They see you, they know you already. It's very often that you work together with a research project with a company for 2 or 3 years, and they say, hey, now it's time for you to go to us. Now I got this guy, Lukas Breetz. He worked for us as I was a student, I would think already 10 years. He went now to Miele, and he just now does pretty much the same. But on the other side, maybe got more money, paid by Miele by what we can do, but he changed it, and I think at the end of the semester he goes to a lecture of mine and will give a lecture how industry is doing systems engineering. I think it's a pretty good example how it works, and it works with every case. And of course, we also have students or research associates that say, I don't want to go to to a company like Miele. I don't want to have any boss. I want to be my own boss, and I don't want to go to science, so academic everything. I want to do innovations very quick and soon. And they start a startup. Nothing wrong with that. More risk, but maybe also more fun. So we also have some examples of them. And I think it's always worthy about thinking, doing a startup. If you're not thinking about doing a startup, I'm not thinking about it. I'm a professor. And I love to talk, not to make. You see, that's the difference. All right, so and for some guys, they need also another way. I don't know why. Maybe they hate themselves. They want to do the PhD. Because the PhD is a lot of pain. Just to get me that clear, it's a lot of pain and stress. And let's talk about PhD. Because I think some of you are still interested. And I would love if you're interested, and I would also support that very strongly. Even though it's painful, not only for you, I have to read it, so it's also painful for me. But it's a good perspective. You still can go to industry. PhDs coming from our institute, they're getting always leadership positions. Always. Most of them. If they don't want to have a leadership position, they stay maybe in science and getting professor or something in that way. Also happens very often. Or you can still start a startup. Also happened. Like Tupillas, who is also in this building, they did their PhD and make then their startup. So you still have all possibilities. Starting working with us costs you no possibilities. Gives you more options. That's the most important point. But the truth about PhD is following thing. The PhD is really hard work. And if you start PhD, it's always the same. I'm sitting there, have a discussion, someone wants to start, and we start with this we call them two excited mountains. So at the beginning, everybody, yeah, I want to do my PhD. I told already my mother and my father I'm doing the PhD. I will be the first doctorate, like my case, and I was so exciting about doing my PhD. I have no idea what it means. And I also had no idea what to did my PhD about, maybe. Maybe I had a good master thesis already written and I could stay on my field. But sometimes, you know, there should be also a fit with the project that you will have. Because that would, I guarantee you, we give every PhD candidate also a full contract. So we pay you full, 100%. There are disciplines they're doing different. They say you pay you half and the other half you do a PhD. I don't think that model is very successful for very ambitious people, so we pay you 100%. But this means that for the work that we have to give to you, you also have to find something, and we have to find something together that is a research work where we can pay you for, and you can do your PhD on this topic. So it's important that we talk on a regular basis, very often, that we have a perfect fit. This is what we do. This is maybe the whole secret, and it sounds so easy and it's so difficult in the reality. So normally in the first year we give you some time. So we give you some research project and we say, okay, you have an idea, think about it, discuss it with some colleagues, and then we have a discussion with first milestone. So everybody, oh, first milestone. So we take this first milestone and it's always the same, some discussions, and I say, okay, you have a good idea, but you don't need an idea as a PhD candidate, you need a problem. You need something that someone did not solve already. This is more important than having a big idea, because having a great idea, you have to find all the scientific argumentation for this idea. It's way easier to find a scientific argumentation for a problem and then maybe discuss about a solution, or maybe you also find then a solution for it. It's way easier and it's more important, but it's so hard for many people, and I try to explain it, and then we go to what we call our first, we call it the first PhD presentation. So we have the first time you have to present your idea and your problem to not only to me, but also to the colleagues, to our PhD seminar. And this is where the top of the mountain gets, quite before. You're excited, a little bit nervous, and then everybody is trying to push you from that mountain. I guarantee you, everybody. It's not I don't have to do so much. It's just like, okay, now the last step up. And then you fall down at what we call the slope of disillusionment, because you see it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Somebody thought already about this problem, and somebody already had this idea, maybe here, maybe somewhere else, and there's some colleagues, they are 2 years already here, they know so much, and they make you insecure also. And then it's up to you how you handle the situation. I mean, we can help you. We still have Milestone, and we still have ongoing talks about this topic, but it's up to you to stay resilient, I would say. There's a fine word for that, to stay resilient, to stay with your topic, to stay with your problem, and to stay self-confident with that what you do. Because in science, there's so many people, they want to tell you that what you're doing is not right and correct. Most of them, probably all of them. So it's important. So, and I guarantee you, you will have some disillusion, you will have a lot of pain, tears, crying, and say, oh, I should choose another topic maybe, and then you come to me, and in my office I have this talk so many, I want to change my topic, I have a better topic, and I say, you will end up in the pretty same situation in 1.5 years. Always the same. Because it's not about the topic, it's about the process, and the process it's like that. It's always like that. I had the problem, I said, I wanted to change, I have to be honest, I want to change my topic also. And I'm glad I did not. It just had cost me like 2 years, at least 2 years. So, and I guarantee you most, I would say 90%, so let's be optimistic. So let's be positive. 90% will find what we call the path of enlightenment. They will find a way out of this situation. We don't talk about the other 10% today. They still exist, I have to be honest, they are still there. So every researcher says, I don't want to be one of the 10% now. So I guarantee you they are there, and they are also fine with this situation. We have a talk about them, and we feel like we're not coming, we don't handle the situation. It's also good. They stay here and work still for us, together with them. Could be great scientists, they just say, man, this PhD, I didn't want it from the first day on, to be honest. So, okay, it's fine. So, and if you find this path of enlightenment, I guarantee you, you get out of this valley of tears. I guarantee you that. Hard work, and I also be honest, the last month and weeks of doing your PhD is a lot of work, short nights, of course, a lot of work also. I wrote also many parts of my work during the weekend. You put some extra effort into your PhD. That's the truth. If you're not willing to do, you should stop at the beginning. Don't let you blend you by the mountains of excitement. It's hard work. It's not about to be the smartest guy in the building. It's about really to be resilient according to feedback, also doing your research, doing your work, and insist and willingness really to work on your PhD. And I guarantee you there is an end. And after that, you have to work, still have to work a lot of things because you're so smart and everybody wants to pay you and you want to work, and it's one, you do it for yourself also. A PhD, you always do it for yourself. It's not about maybe I get more money or my career gets better. Of course, for a professorship you need this, but in all the other careers it's also for you to prove yourself something. To have short nights and work long nights, I don't know. But you can prove yourself at least that you can do work on a scientific level, very in detail, go into detail on one topic, and I guarantee you, I always say, how is the defense, the talk with the defense? And I say always the same, you're sitting there as one expert with 4 guys who try to be also experts. Those are the 4 professors. That's the truth, because you work like 4 years in one specific topic. If you're not the expert, after those 4 years, I know I quit the time limit now. Yeah, I know. Then you will, it's always the same. Then you did something wrong in your 4 years or 5 years that you work on one topic. All right, this is about PhD, and I guarantee you we have some PhD process, and we handle this together, and I think this is what we do very well, that we support you also in this PhD process, because it's a tough one. But it's not the only thing. It's not only about research and work. It's, I think, one of the best times in your life doing your PhD or being a research associate, because you have so many colleagues that have many same interests and also some kind of same age very often, and you can share a lot of things, and you can do also different things. A good culture is very important for such kind of institute, and Corona was a mess for us in the last 3 years, so I guarantee you we're still working on them, but it was for many organizations not a blessing according to the cultural aspects. But we are really into what we believe, what our institute, what our colleagues, we are there for each other. And I think it's not only that what I'm saying there, we also are able to criticize each other and still be friends. And also, what we also very often do is meme wars. I don't know, you know some meme wars. This is the ultimate, you can say everything about your boss what you want to do. I'm not mad at it. I started this meme war 4 years or 5 years ago, so I have to live with it. And of course, I'm part of every second meme. or I feel like that. But it's also a thing of cultural. And this is something that works already pretty well during Corona. So there was no way, memes, there were even more memes in the last 3 years, so painful memes also. And I think sometimes, I don't know. You think, I asked myself, what are they thinking, my colleagues? Are they thinking, oh, Roman in his free time, he's chicken farmer, or maybe he's doing modeling? And the truth is maybe something between that, but I'm not talking about that today. We don't live our hierarchy so much, we're just having some fun also together, and it's important. It's maybe a difference to companies or to traditional companies. So maybe what are some benefits to the end? What are some benefits? I talk about culture, I talk a little bit, give you some insights about how we're working and what we're doing. Of course, there's some hard facts, so you can quantify something. So we have 30 days of vacation, and actually we have 34. We give you additional 4 days that we pay you for as what we call bridging days, so we have always longer weekends. We have learned to work from home, from the office, and from somewhere else, so that's a big topic, still big topic also for our culture, but we're learning it and we're willing. We will not give you, or we will not force you to work at home, or we will not force you to work at the institute. You can work and discuss with your group leader maybe what is the best for you. So we try to be very flexible in this model. I think it's very important. What is also a big benefit, we give everyone 5 to 7 days per year for professional training. Soft skills, especially at the beginning. I feel like many students come and they never give a presentation. It's not good. Having good results, you also should be able to present it. Soft skills or team workings, trainings, for example, but also, of course, trainings in your topic, additional trainings in your topics. It's also important, and you get that every year. There are trainings that cost like thousands of euros, and we invest in you because we believe if you are better, we also better. It's a win-win situation for us. And many things more. We have many discounts as Fraunhofer and so on. But one important thing is you get a lot of insights into companies. I think this is the most important thing for many people to work at Fraunhofer and to do applied research, because you get insights into many companies. I'm always saying I'm glad to see so many companies, but I'm also glad to leave them at evening, not having their problems every day. But for you, it's interesting because they are trying to recruit you. Of course, they're trying to recruit you, and they will let you do your PhD and you finish your work at Fraunhofer, and they will wait for you because you're worthy to wait for. And that's what we see, and that's very important to get contact to many companies. It's not that easy maybe to get to a specific company for you as a single person, but for our network, especially you want to stay in this region, we have worked with almost every company, I would say. It's very easy to get in touch with those companies, and so maybe it's also for you to see if this company is something for you or not. I always say, also the companies have to conduct their interviews at you, not the other way around. So last thing, I know Sabrina's now getting mad at me because I skipped the time limit totally. But I think it's important. If you're doing research, you need a purpose. And my first purpose was just doing technical, fancy things. That was my purpose for more than 10 years. And I think 4 weeks ago, the current minister of also climate, but also economics of North Rhine-Westphalia was just right here. We have a talk, and she gave a very emotional talk about what has to change. She's from the Green Labour, from the Green Party. And she said we have to do more into sustainability and climate change and all those things that you all probably heard about it, and I feel sometimes nobody's doing about it. Then I saw also an article, also 4 or 5 weeks ago in the newspaper, and they said, this is the time that the people who are 40 has to do something. They have no excuse. And I said, shit, I'm 40. So no excuse for me. Maybe for you, still excuse, but for me, it's no excuse. So we have to do. I have to find also my purpose. And I'm glad that I can find my purpose and say, okay, all the institute has a purpose now. Maybe it's time of my position, but maybe it's important to do something like that. And we were just talking about this climate change, and I was able to talk after her, and it's always good to talk as a professor or as a technical guy after a politician, because you can bring so many examples. You know, it's easy. They are just on a very broad, generic level, and you get there and say, okay, that's what we're doing at Miele, that's what we're doing there and here, and everybody's saying, as you invented something totally new, it's what we're doing on a daily basis. We have to name it, we have to explain what we're doing there. So my wife is actually calling. I think so. To get home, dinner is ready. So this is important for me, and I take this seriously. So many of my researchers here know I was writing like 2 years ago, who's into this climate change thing. I want to learn more what we can do from digitalization with it. Because it's, to be honest, I'm not a researcher in sustainability, but we can do a lot of fancy stuff. And this is what is my strategy. I think we have to do some kind of dual strategy, because a lot of companies, and I know the companies very well in this region, but also in other regions, they have to develop more sustainable products, what we call sustainable technical systems. And which is more important, they have to change the value chain. The way they're developing has to be also more sustainable, and you cannot separate those two aspects from it. And the question that we are looking for as an institute, and also me in personal, that's really that I'm convinced about this topic, is how we can support this process for products, for processes, using digitization, using mechatronics. There are a lot of things, and of course we also have to think if it's, in Germany we say, mit Kanonen auf Spatzen schießen, so we're doing more than it's necessary, because also a server costs money and costs especially also as an CO footprint. So we have to think about what are the solutions for that. And I think it's a very, very tremendous, huge topic. I'm highly motivated about this topic, and I know all the companies are highly motivated. And it's really no doubt, all the CEOs, all the CTOs, they are really into this topic, and the only thing they are looking forward are you, because they need your help. They need your brains, they need your technology, they need your enthusiasm in this topic, and maybe you will start the first thing with us, because we want you to. But I'm happy for you all, stay in this region, work with these companies, and maybe doing your PhD before that with us, and before that maybe your master thesis. So thank you for your attention, and now I'm finished with the time. Thank you very much.